Coming up on today's episode.
Well, it's like asking your cousin or your uncle at a barbecue who have never purchased a property.
That's so true.
Like everyone's an expert, yeah?
Oh, everyone loves to be an expert, especially the uncle at the barbecue.
Aussie barbecues are the best ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get shitloads of tips and you walk away knowing nothing.
You're about 10 cans deep as well, so, like...
and then you're like, sure, makes sense. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
No. Dodgy advice and bad decisions can cost you big in real estate. We're here to make sure that doesn't happen. Welcome to the No BS Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Agresta, and it's time to take control of your property journey together.
Hello, Rob Panetta from Lux Buyers Agents. So I'm here at the No BS Podcast. I'm here for the second time. So I'm going to be sharing some insights and tips with the listeners. So come on.
Welcome back, everyone, to the No BS Real Estate Podcast, your listening how-to guide to the Aussie finance and real estate market. I'm your host, Joe Agresta, and today I'm so thrilled because we are welcoming back Rob Panetta from Lux Buyers Agents. He's back with us for a second episode, so if you want to check out his first one, the link's on screen and in the show notes below. Go right ahead, it'll tell you all about what Rob does day in, day out. But for the quick cliff notes for those of you that don't already know Rob wears two hats. He's a vendor's advocate and a buyer's advocate. So he's worked and he's working on both sides of the deal. He's helped sellers and he's helped buyers, and he knows the pitfalls and the opportunities from both angles. Now, in today's episode, we're going to dig into what buyer's agents actually do. And no, I'm not talking about they do due diligence and they walk your dog and they love you. I'm talking about the real stuff, what they are actually doing for you. Why do we actually need a buyer's agent in the biggest transaction financially that you'll make probably in your lifetime, maybe once or twice? We'll also talk about what you're paying for. We'll expose some of the common industry hype because buyer's agents, let's face it, we all know who they are now. It's talked about a lot. We don't really know what they're doing and we don't know how to decipher who's good and who's bad. So you'll walk away with actionable pointers. You can also decide whether you need a buyer's agent and how to pick one wisely. So let's jump in. Welcome back, Rob.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me back a second time.
Oh, I'm going to have you back so many more times, I think, because we've just been talking about off air. Some of you may or may not know, we're building a caravan and it's going to be a studio on wheels. We're taking the No BS podcast on the wheels, literally.
Taking it on the road?
On the road. Yeah, we're going to insert some music there. But no, we're going to take it on the road. And I was just saying to Rob, he does auctions, like he's got part of his vendor's advocacy is they host auctions, and we want to go behind the scenes and travel into that auction with the No BS van and record it.
Yeah, I think it'll be very insightful for obviously buyers and vendors just to see what happens behind the scenes,
Oh, 100%. And there's going to be no better kind of video on that because I really want to get into the rawness of it. So we'll be recording the very start to the very end, not editing anything out. It's going to be a live commentary. So I'm very keen for that. And that's where we're going to bring Rob back probably more than once, more than thrice, more than 20 times.
Yep.
Poor guy.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, but I want to get into today, and I'm going to start with a little bit. I'm not going to rant too much, but I am going to set a bit of a reality check here. So I've been talking to a lot of clients this past couple of months, and something's become so prevalent, especially in socials. There's a lot of buyer's agents doing content, but what I haven't seen is a buyer's agent explaining what they do day in, day out, and why there's value in hiring them, right? I see a lot of content it's kind of like the quick content, 30 seconds, what do we do? Due diligence, this, inspections, and we save you $2 million. And it's okay, doesn't really tell me much. So this episode today is really to unpack, what do you actually get? What does a day in the life look like? What are you paying for? Because what I'm sick of is if you and I were to go to court, right, and we were going to have a dispute, and you come with a lawyer, and I go, no, I'm going to self-represent because I'm a tight ass. Now, who's going to win that court battle just by pure statistics?
I think 9 times out of 10, obviously the lawyer.
That's right. Now, I'm not Ted Bundy. I'm not going to self-represent and put up a decent fight. I'm literally using ChatGPT as my reference, and I'm going to court. My chances are pretty low, I would say. I'm underprepared. I'm going up against a professional and someone who's got industry experience, years of experience, knows the system, knows the laws, knows how to act, knows the relationships, has relationships in the courtroom, and I'm going there by myself, not knowing anyone, going, cool, I got this. It's no, you friggin' don't. Why would when the idea of court comes up, everyone immediately goes, shit, I've got to pay a lawyer. I've got to spend like $200K on my lawyer. But then to front up like maybe up to $10K on a buyer's advocate to buy your biggest financial asset, people go, no, I'll do that myself.
Yeah.
Why? Why is that?
Look, it's becoming more prominent now that you would use a buyer's agent like in a transaction now, because if you're going to sell, obviously doing it yourself, you're probably not going to get the best result, you know?
Yeah.
You might 1 out of 10 times, yeah? So a selling agent is very common.
Yeah, that's
now,
right.
The buyer's advocacy space is one of the fastest growing professions in the country. So a lot more people are more savvy now. And I find from when I first started, probably about 4 years ago, I was having to explain to every person what we actually do.
Yeah.
Now I'm not coming across those conversations too much at all, to be honest.
That's awesome.
Everyone knows what we do, but they don't know the day in and day out of how much we do. So yeah, there is a lot that goes into the back end before we can reach the ultimate goal. If let's say we're going to auction, there's a lot that happens prior to that, that the client or the buyers, they don't see.
I think that's spot on, right? Because this is what I get frustrated with. It's like, you know, everyone talks about the time on market. That's the biggest thing, right? I feel like there's like these broad topics that people don't really respect in terms of home buying, which is they think the norm is 6 to 9 months sitting on market, right? That's one myth that I would love to bust totally and go, no, that's not what buyers agents do. We don't want you for 6 to 9 months. Like, why aren't you buying? That's bad for us. Number two is you've got the financial concern saying, oh, I can't afford it and I don't think it's worth it. And it's like, all right, that's personal preference. I totally get that. I haven't obviously told you what I do properly for you not to see how that's valuable. And then number three is the actual goals in terms of how hard it is to buy emotionally, to buy, you know, without your mind taking over that purchase. And four being that when you're dealing with all these professionals who are all experts in their own right, who all aren't working together, how confusing that is, how time consuming it is for you, and then also how it stops you from making those decisions when you need to. You get into analysis paralysis, you cool off the market for 3 months, you come back and that area you were looking in's gone up by 10%. What do you do?
Yeah, it's really, really common. Like I get buyers coming to me, oh, I've been looking for 1, 2 years. I'm like, wow, that's a really long time. Like
a badge of honor.
Yeah, I can't remember a time that I've gone over 4 months for a client. That's how quick I purchase. So when I'm speaking to a client, I say anywhere from 3 to 10 weeks is our purchase time. That client that I had for 4 months was an owner-occupier. Like they was a bit more emotional. They wanted to, it's a bit more of a harder brief, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it took so long. But literally our purchase times are anywhere from 3 to 10 weeks. So it's really, really quick.
Yeah.
And the buyer's got to think about the opportunity costs as well. Like if a market is growing 10, 20K in 1 month, they're going to be very quickly priced out of that suburb.
Yeah.
You know? So they've got to consider that as well on top of our cost.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because even if you compare costs, like I always try to do a comparison like this, you're spending, call it you're on market for 12 months. How many open for inspections have you travelled to outside of a 10-kilometre radius from where you currently live, right? So you're spending petrol every weekend, you're spending time, you're doing research every night for a year. No wonder you're exhausted and then you end up just buying in.
Social events. Yeah.
Yeah. Sacrificing everything.
You're sacrificing a lot. Like this is not a part-time gig buying a property.
No.
You know? A lot of buyers think they can actually do it themselves, but they just don't know any better, you know?
And there's no shame in it, in my opinion.
Look, some buyers can. Like I'm not saying a buyer's advocate is for everyone. It's just, look, especially those first home buyers, they've got a million questions. I see it on the daily. They have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know? And they're buying the most costly asset they're going to buy in their life. Why wouldn't you want help? Why wouldn't you get some help to make sure you don't make any mistakes at the end of the day?
And I think this, like, when we think about selling our houses, it's almost like a no-brainer that we have to get an agent, right? It's like the first thing is I'm selling my house. Let me go get an agent. When it comes to buying, it's let me pull out the notebook and bloody go on realestate.com, and I've got a commitment for 9 months in front of me. And it's just the reality that everyone's buying into, that is the way it is, right? And it's not. So I want to open up with this statement, right? This is the 6-month myth, in my opinion, and we've started to talk about it. So you've been house hunting for 6 months. Now, in my opinion, that's not patience, that's process failure on, your part, not you, Rob. So Rob, take us inside. What's really going on when buyers are stuck in this loop for half a year, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I feel the buyers that are taking so much time, they're unrealistic for actually what they want. They're potentially looking at an area or an asset type that is realistically not in their budget,
Yeah.
or they're wanting something in particular that's not achievable, whether it's like a pool or something. For me, when a buyer comes to me, I always get their opinion and feedback on sold results.
Oh,
so essentially, I'll give them 3 to 6 recently compared results for actually what they want in their budget and their price guide and suburb location. And I'll go, give me your feedbacks, what you liked about the property, what you didn't like. And it will essentially help me align their search and go, maybe your budget's not realistic for actually what you want.
Oh, there you go. That's a smart one.
Yeah. So every client that comes through, obviously, the process, we need that feedback initially, because it's going to help us really narrow down the search and narrow down the search time as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And naturally, I think that's that analysis paralysis, right? It's the brief shifts. When you're managing it yourself, you start to see properties at inspection and you go, okay, maybe I don't actually want a double brick veneer. Maybe I need, maybe I want weatherboard now for some reason. Like, all these decisions are kind of based on
sometimes they started brick and now, look, we can't afford brick. It's got to go to weatherboard now.
Yeah, correct. It's like all these sacrifices start coming in, but you don't know until you've gone to maybe 3, 4, 5 inspections over 2, 3 weekends, and then you start to feel disheartened and go, oh, market's not it's not ready. I'm not ready for the market. And it's like, no, what are we talking about? So this is what I want to kind of go through that a lot of people don't know, right? Yeah. It's your day in, day out. So I want to set a scene for you. I'm a buyer that's come to you and I'm curious, and you've just had a chat with me about what you actually do. Now, let's say I've committed and I've gone, yep, I want to go ahead with you, Rob, I like what you said. What does that day in, day out process look like from when you sit down with them at that first brief, and then walk me through all the next 3 weeks?
So, look, essentially the first meeting is just essentially to fact find about their situation. Yeah. Can I actually help? Like, is it a realistic expectation on what they think they can purchase for? So it's really just narrowing down, are you suitable to work with me? If they are, we'll move into a strategy meeting, which essentially we'll sit down with them for 45 minutes, have a video call. On that call, I'll explain everything about myself, the value I can bring to the client, how we will present properties. We have a dedicated client portal for each client. Wow. So essentially they're kept in the loop throughout the process. They don't have to come asking, look, what stage of the process we at. We have them all. We have essentially everything they need on that portal, and we communicate through that portal as well. So everything's on there. They have their broker details, conveyancer, anyone awesome. A part of their team as well. So, and we have an education piece on there for our clients as well. So I think we've got about maybe over 20 documents for them to review at any given time, depending on what stage of the process we're at.
That's amazing.
So yeah, if they do sign up, pretty much we hit the ground running. So depending on the location, we might already have all the real estate agent contact details. So first we'll analyze what's on the market. Is there anything that's suitable on the market? We'll then send out their brief to all agents. So we're independent from everyone. So we essentially get access to off markets from every single agency. Yeah. Especially if we're working in an area that we normally work in, we're at opens and auctions every week. So we've already built that relationship with the real estate agents. So when I shoot out a brief, I'm the first one to know about it, Yeah. So yeah, essentially we'll shoot out the brief. If there's something that's suitable, we'll obviously present it to the client in our portal. We'll get their initial feedback. Yep, this is a property we like. No, it's property we don't like. If it is, we'll then go ahead and do further due diligence. So with our due diligence process, there's a lot that goes on in the background. So essentially, we're starting off with a planning report. Say we're buying in Victoria.
Yep.
It'll be a planning report. It'll be also checking any overlays. Is there anything affecting the property from obviously doing anything in the future? We'll also, once we go to the second stage of the process, we will start implementing stuff like suburb reports, comparable market analysis reports, social housing checks, insurance quotes, building and pest reports. Yeah, there's a lot that goes in prior to even making an offer. But let's say everything passes, we're all good, we want to go ahead. We'll then obviously get into the offer stage and negotiation. We'll, obviously speak to the agents, see, we would essentially want to put the buyer in the best possible position to buy this property. So we need to understand the vendor's motivations, what terms they want. So we're asking the right questions as well to the real estate agents to really determine what offer we're going to put forward, because it's not always price that wins it. It's also terms as well. That's super crucial. But yeah, that's essentially how we help to the negotiation phase. If we're going to auction, obviously there's a lot that goes in prior to that as well. Sorry, just skipped a couple of steps, but we have to obviously inspect the property as well,
that's right.
We give a detailed video inspection. Obviously, we come from a construction background as well, done complete renovations also. So when I'm taking a video, it's quite detailed. I'm showing the surrounding homes. I'm showing I'll go around the exterior of the home. Is there any cracks in the brickwork? Checking guttering, fascia boards, eaves, checking electrical box. Then going through the property, is there any cracks? Is there settlement cracks? Is there creaks in the floor? Is the floor uneven? Is there any mold?
Jesus.
So for the normal buyer, this might be a bit overwhelming, but look, I think I've cut it down to about 8 minutes. I can get a pretty detailed video now. For the normal buyer, it might take 15. But yeah, I'm going through, I'm taking a really detailed inspection, especially if they're not on the ground. They're relying solely on me to really search and really determine is this a good property for them and is it structurally sound at the end of the day? Because you don't want to buy a lemon.
Oh, God.
Essentially at the end of the day.
And I think what you've just, I feel exhausted. It's brought me back to PTSD advocacy. But seriously, this is that time spent, right? You're going from step one where you've just said, I got a brief. So now if I flip this on the buyer's time, right? So you as the buyer have gone to someone and spilled your guts in the sense of these are my goals. This is what I want. This is what I need. And cool, what do we do from here? And you're like, cool, there's a portal. Any information, I'm going to put it there for you. Now, all of a sudden, everyone who's talking about how stressful home buying is and how it's a commitment for 9 to 12 months, this and that, all those types of things you hear. I'm not saying they're not true. That's actual reality for people who do the DIY approach. But now if you look at it from the buyer's end, what Rob's done is taken all of that job from you and said, here's a nice little portal where you'll get updated. Now, Rob in the background is the one on the ground doing all that work. And I think what else you don't see is how many bloody data subscriptions that we get and that we pay for just to make sure you're buying the right asset. Before you've even made a decision, before we've even inspected, it's you're doing all that research.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different from an owner-occupier perspective to an investment perspective. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of data sources. We spend, I reckon, over 20K just on data subscriptions. It's a lot that goes into the back end to obviously give you those reports and all the data that you could need to make an informed decision at the end of the day.
That's right. And typically as a buyer, you don't have access to this unless you're prepared to front up a cost for it, right? So it's you could go get a Cotality, whatever they're calling themselves now, RP data subscription, right? And you could get some basic property information, but you don't know what you're looking at. It's only going to overwhelm you unless someone's there guiding you with that data. So as a buyer, all you're doing is waiting for these updates from Rob. Now, Rob in the background is going crazy. And remember, Rob's buying between 3 to 10 weeks. this is not something that you even thought was possible by yourself in 3 to 10 weeks. You've committed 9 months in your head. So it's not a scam. It's not a hoax that people buy within that time, because the difference is Rob's doing it full time. That's his job.
Well, you've brought up a great point. Like, it's not a part-time gig. Like, if you treat it like a part-time gig, you're going to get part-time results as well. Essentially, we're like, can you be on the phone to agents throughout the day, speaking to them, going, look, I need this, I need that, it really does take out a lot of time to find the perfect property. And that's why we get initial feedback from the clients. There's no point us doing full due diligence on a property if they're not going to even like it in the first place,
Spot on.
So leading up to auction as well, like there's then that's just another ball game in itself. You got to prepare for auction. What happens if the property passes in? Do you have a plan for that?
Yeah.
You got to go through the scenarios on what's going to happen as well.
And I think what a lot of buyers probably don't see too is like it feels like an easy journey for your buyers, but that's the point. Yeah. It's not meant to feel stressful now that you've got someone working for you, because if you're doing it by yourself, you've already set yourself up for the heartache, the months of looking and the search, but hiring a buyer's advocate's taking that stress away.
Well, the best way I can put it is the buyer saves time, they save money, and they save stress.
And that's the thing. It's like, how much I always ask yourself this question now, listeners who are like, still don't know. And that's fair. Ask yourself, what's your time worth? All right. Do you have it in you to miss out on events every weekend? Do you have it in you to look at realestate.com after work? If you've got a family, are you going to drag your kids to all those open for inspections? Which I know when I was a kid, I got dragged to those because my family were in construction. So I went to jobs and it was boring as.
Let me ask you this. What happens if the listing comes out at 9 a.m.?
Yep.
And you're only getting on it at 6 p.m.? I've already got a day of due diligence up on you, I already potentially made an offer by 6 p.m.,
Yeah, right.
That's how quick you need to move.
In this market.
Especially if it's a property that's going to be hotly contested. We already made that offer and you're already 1 day behind the 8 ball, essentially.
And that's where I think people don't get they go, far out, that house was on the market for like 12 hours or that house was on the market for less than 24 hours. It's got a sold sticker. I'm never going to buy. And that's like, no, this is the difference of having someone who's on it full time.
Well, it's setting expectations at the start as well with the client and going, when I tell you to move, it's time to move, we're not mucking around. We've got all our ducks in a row. So if we find the right property, you'll know it's time to go, essentially.
Exactly. And I think for those of you who are in this boat of you've been on market for 9 months or 6 months or even 3 months, right? And you're listening to this right now and you're going, yeah, I've run into this. Oh, yeah, okay, I see what they're saying. One thing I will put to you is don't forget too, how many times have all your other professionals asked you for documentation and hassled you for slowing up the process? Like, part of having an advocate is they coordinate with your broker. They coordinate with your conveyancer. Everyone's working together.
Well, that's why obviously on our client portal, we have their whole team on that portal. We have all their details.
Yeah.
So they don't have to leave that platform to get any of those details. Everything's on the one platform, and we'll liaise with whoever you got in your team. Is it your broker? Is it your accountant? Is it your financial planner?
That's awesome.
Conveyancer. Like there can be so many people a part of your team. So you need to try essentially correlate your whole team and make them work together somehow.
That's right. And visibility is a big part of that. Like, I think the fact that you've even got that as a client portal and you've spent the money to make it so much easier for your customers, that's a huge investment. Like any tech related thing.
That's a value add in itself.
Correct.
I don't think every buyer's agent does that.
No, I
think they might be still on Google Sheets in the Stone Ages. You
have no idea. Yes, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, like that's sort of our point of difference. Where we have something dedicated for them that they don't have to come asking us what stage of the process we're at. They know. They just go onto their portal.
And they got everything.
Yeah, they got everything that they could possibly need to make a decision.
I think this is a really important part, right? And I wanted to set the scene. So thank you for telling us your day in, day out, because that due diligence is huge. And that's not even going into, well, what happens if we're going to auction? Shit. Then that's a whole other preparation, which a lot of people, I think, don't really think about until they've kind of just gone there and done it once.
But then it's also after auction, like
Yeah.
you've purchased, then what do? When do I pay deposit?
Yeah.
Have I got a contract with you already, or have I done a building a pest? Like
It's a
you'd be
mess.
surprised how many people now these days are just putting their contract reviews through ChatGPT. Like,
so bad.
I'm like, no. Like,
all right.
Yes, it's great to just get a little overview on it, but you still need to get a contract review from a conveyancer or a solicitor, like you can't skip that step.
No. And look, I'm sure that conveyancers are working with AI in the sense that they are building something, for sure. I've spoken to many businesses who are playing in the space of AI contract reviews. But the difference is it's the same with Abodey, right? We've trained our AI specifically with data from Landchecker, ABS, Hotspotting, realestate.com, PropTrack. If the AI has been trained and built from scratch, not just ChatGPT. ChatGPT is giving context, right?
Correct,
it can rephrase, it can read documents, but it's only going by whatever's available on the internet. It's just a smart Google search and it's collecting it and saying, based on these 16 forums I just read and the Victorian legislation, this is what I believe's right.
Yeah.
Is that the most up-to-date information? Probably not. That's why a conveyancer is effectively a type of lawyer or a property lawyer, not to the same level, but they're trained to do these property transactions, and then buyers agents are there to make sure that that part of the due diligence is taken care of.
Yeah, like there's also like little tips as well. Like some buyers are paying $500 for a contract review, and I'm like, well, we get ours for free. Like, they're like, well, I didn't know you could get it for free. Well, that's why you work with a buyer's advocate. Or like, let's say we're getting a building and pest report as another buyer already got one. Can we on-purchase that report?
Yeah.
There in itself, you're saving another $300,
Yeah.
So there are little tricks that little tips and tricks that we do to save the clients any amount of money as possible,
Yeah, because that's the whole premise, right? It's like you're hiring a buyer's agent not for the sake of having representation like a lawyer where you're billed by the hour. I think there's this this myth that I think has slowly been broken down that buyer's agents are for rich people or for people that have massive budgets. It's not true. And everyone thinks that they're worth 20K. So I want to kind of go into with you, where's this myth of the mystical, you have to pay everything up front or you have to pay at settlement, versus what's the reality behind these costs, like someone working with you?
Well, yeah, the simplest way I can put it, a buyer's agent's going to charge you a fixed fee, or they're going to charge you a percentage of the purchase price. I would say an average buyer's agent is charging 15,000 plus. There's buyer's agents ranging, I would say, anywhere from, like a good one, I would say anywhere from 13 to, I know buyer's agents charging 55. It's a bit more of an extra service, but that's the range. If someone's charging you 7 to 12, I'll be like, oh, are they just new to the industry? Why are they charging 7 to 12 when the average is 15,000?
Yeah, right.
So you got to ask yourself that question. Sometimes cheapest is not always the best as well.
That's true, because this is getting into that territory where I want to break down, a little bit of these red flags, because now we're seeing a lot of buyers advocates come to market, and a lot of, like you said, it's a massive industry that's growing very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah.
When I started in this business about 3 years ago, or 4 years ago with PropTech,
yeah,
I remember interviewing buyers advocates. There was only less than 1% of the market using an advocate 4 years ago. Fast forward to now, that's up to 6 or 7%, I think, isn't it?
I think operational, I reckon there's still probably less than 5,000, I would say.
Yeah.
Operational around the country.
Mm.
So it's really a blue ocean still.
Yeah, it's true.
I think real estate agents 60,000 plus.
There's shitloads of agents.
So there is a lot of new ones coming daily essentially, but yeah, it's sort of trying to weed the good ones from the bad essentially.
That's right, because I think there's a lot out there that it doesn't mean that because they're new, they're shit, right?
No, absolutely not.
Because they might have industry experience. They might be ex-real estate agents. They might be, ex-brokers. You have no idea of their experience. That's something for you to assess when you sit down with them. Like, oh, how long have you been doing this? If they say a year, I don't think it's a bad thing, but then it's asking those follow-ups.
It's just asking the right questions sort of to determine, is this buyer's agent a perfect fit for me? You're going to be working with them for an extensive period of time. So you're going to need to be able to get along with them as well and communicate with them, so that can play a part as well.
That's a massive part. Like, and I guess what are those questions like that you kind of get from your clients when they're trying to suss you out?
Yeah. So some of the things that obviously buyers come to me with, look, how much experience do you have in the industry? What were you doing prior? Have you purchased in this location? Do you have access to off-market properties? Those are the questions that I normally get, whether it's to determine if I'm a good or good or bad buyer's agent. Obviously, they'll go,
It's all
do you have,
relative.
essentially, do you have Google reviews? Do you have testimonials? For me, I have no issue in potentially even letting them speak to my clients. I know I've done a good job
Yeah.
for my clients, so I have no issue in that. But essentially, it's having those case studies to go, this is what I want to do. Is this what you've done for your clients? And just showing them those examples.
And I think that's the power of it, right? It's talking about real stuff that's happened. And I love that you're open to them communicating with your previous clients. That's awesome.
Yeah, like if my previous clients are open to having a small conversation I've done in the past, then absolutely, I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
I do a good job for my clients. I know the value that I bring, and that's why I charge what I charge, because I'm worth every cent.
That's right. And like, I think let's talk about that, right? The value behind it. So yes, there's that time saving aspect. So you know now what Rob's doing day in, day out, the poor guy. And then, there's all these relationship management and tools and things that he's purchased to make sure that this works. This is why I guess, like you said, you're spending $20,000 on just data alone in a year. That doesn't count for like all the operations and other overheads that businesses typically have. But the fact that that's an investment you make, that's part of like why you're getting such good service, right? It's they're helping you make a big purchase. They're not, Rob's not there to say, yeah, cool, I looked on realestate.com, I did what you did, and it looks good, you should buy it.
Well, I'm there to give them the hard truths as well. Like sometimes they might give me a property and go, oh, what do you think of this? Or we're at maybe the negotiation phase and they're like, oh, I'll pay this amount. I'm like, well, you're paying 50K over market value, I don't think this is the right move for you guys. So I could easily go, yep, let's play this. My job's done.
Yeah,
essentially
that's right.
at the end of the day. But I'm there to give them the hard truths and go, look, maybe this is not the best investment for you guys. There's always going to be another property that comes along. Let's just not rush that decision as well, because look, one bad result, it can affect your whole business at the end of the day.
And I think that's what you've got to understand. Like the buyer's agent is paid by you to look after your best interests.
Yeah, good or bad.
Good or bad, they're there to represent you like a lawyer, right? They're not there to just take your money and run. Now, those buyer's agents, that's a red flag for me, where they just push you into any purchase. I've seen those guys in action, and you'll notice that they're not on our podcast. So because I'll only interview the good ones. That's like something, where people just say, oh yeah, we turn our clients in under 3 weeks. We turn our client, we find your house in under 2 weeks. And that's like, for me, that sometimes is a bit of a risk. It's
maybe
like,
because they're only presenting one property to them potentially.
That's right. And or telling them that whatever the price is, yeah, that's fine. Let's just go for it and buy it. And, the buyer's perceiving this value that, oh, well, they did it so quickly. It's like, yep, speed is one thing, right? 3 to 10 weeks is reasonable in my eyes because it's the reality. Like I used to have an average of 6 weeks, right? It was my average. But that's for an owner-occupier buying in certain areas, certain location, and every brief changed, right? So everything is bespoke. Like it's so tailored to that individual. We don't have like an approach that fits everyone.
Yeah, speed is what wins you good deals, but not at the cost of compromising the property.
Yeah, spot on.
So that's very, very crucial to buying. You need to know when to go for the right property, not for the first one necessarily. It could be the first one. Yeah, that's the best one, but we might have been in that market for 5-6 months already, and we know the market in and out, and we know a good deal from a bad deal. So we would always explain to the client, it could be the first one, but it could be the 10th one or 20th one,
And it just depends.
It just depends what comes on at that point in time when you're currently looking, essentially.
And I guess like that's also, the brief differs. Like investors have a one way of, buying. And I think that's probably a little bit more of a straightforward approach because it's not emotional. But What's your opinion on that? Is it harder for investors to find property versus owner occs?
No, I'd say owner occs are more complex and harder. Investors are very data driven and less emotional with the purchase, whereas your owner occupiers, they're worried about the color on the door. Or, you know, the little things that don't really matter too much. So yeah, investors are quicker to turn around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the owner occs that will take you a bit more time, and you're actually physically meeting them and going through the properties. So it is a bit more, I'd say what's the word I'm looking for? Gratifying.
Yeah, it's like, I get that.
Yeah, it does. Bring a different feeling owner occupier compared to investor clients.
Yeah, because investors are all like, that they're probably going to be back in another year to 2 years for another one.
I've had a client, they're purchasing the third one with me this year alone, So yeah, you don't get to purchase 3 properties in a year if you're not doing a good job.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's a good thing that my clients are coming back to me for repeat purchases, and I'm helping them build portfolios as well,
Yeah, that's right. And I think this is the perfect time to bring in our little Reddit House Hunters Anonymous segment. Okay, so I've got this, I always dive into Reddit. Some of these get sent in by our listeners. Every week, you guys, thank you. Shout out to all of our listeners there who do send us some really good Reddit clips.
Yeah, I have no idea how to use it, but I have signed one client from it. If you got any tips, let me know.
All right, we'll share them with you, 100%. These ones here, I want to sort of go through what some of the actual buyers are saying online when it comes to time on market and a few other ones, right? So this one post, this person said, "We've been looking for 9 months and keep missing out at auction. Should we give up?" What's your response to that?
My response to that, if it's always gone to auction, maybe try get a buyer's advocate for an auction-only service. There's different services that a buyer's agent does. It's not just the one full service. We do everything from start to finish. There's multiple services that buyer's agents do.
That's true.
Potentially, I'd look at getting someone to help you on the day if you're comfortable, obviously doing inspections, everything prior to that point.
Yeah, so it's like you've opted to take your own due diligence on. You'll do all the research, and then find the property and the asset. And then the next step is just you keep missing out at auction. That's a good point. You can just engage a buyer's advocate just for the auction portion.
Correct. You might be giving away your emotions at auction, or like getting on the phone, or fiddling with your hands, or like signs we look for to go, yep, look, this guy's getting to the end of their budget, So there might be things that you're doing. So you got to reflect on potentially, what am I doing wrong?
It's like you're self-sabotaging your own situation without knowing
it. Yeah, correct.
Well, that's a good point. So I think even in itself, if you're just engaging the buyer's agent to do just the auction part, they'll do the prep with you and go, cool, this is our strategy.
This is our scenarios. This is what happens in this situation. This is what happens in this one. So they're fully prepared, and they're fully prepared to walk away at a certain price as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I think what ends up happening a lot of the time is after you've used a buyer's advocate for just auction service, and let's say, it doesn't go the way you want it and you miss out, you end up using that buyer's advocate for the whole thing.
I know for us, obviously that fee will come off our full service as well.
Oh, really? So you just take it off and go, that's fine?
Yeah, correct. So it's included, if they want to upgrade to our full service, then we'll take the fee off.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so look.
That's a really low-risk way for you guys that if you're still not convinced on why you need basically a buyer's agent that's a lawyer at buying you a property with you, then your next option or solution could be just to start with auction service.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we were talking off air that I had an auction this Saturday coming. I literally just got the call a couple of hours ago that, look, I just need some help at auction. This is because they're feeling unwell, so they can't attend auction.
Yeah.
But there's multiple reasons why someone would reach out to us and go, maybe just we need some professional help on the day to get us the best result.
Oh, we'll have to get an update from you on how that auction goes.
Yeah.
So that'll be
hopefully
my next one.
Up.
Yeah, that's it. And I guess this next one is someone said, if you're asking Reddit if a buyer's agent is worth it, 99% of the time it isn't. How do you respond to that? Like that's just someone asking Reddit, like, is a buyer's
Probably
agent
someone
worth
that's
it?
uneducated and
Yeah.
has not used the service themselves. They don't know what's involved. Essentially they don't know what a buyer's advocate does, if that's what they think, because it's not uncommon that we save our clients hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run, not just a small amount.
Well, that's kind of the point, right? And the proof's in the pudding. Like you've got client testimonials, you've got the proof points to say this sold at this much. This was the average valuation at the time. This is what we negotiated.
Yeah, this is what it's worth now.
Yeah, it's like that's math.
And now they've gone and purchased their third property.
Yeah, correct. And like that's
within the 1 year.
But this is like that part of that goal setting, right? At the start, it's like it all comes back to that brief of making sure, okay, you said you wanted to do this over the next 3 to 5 years. It included buying an owner occ, and then it included a first investment. So now we've bought the assets that are going to allow you to do that, or we've bought the asset that's going to give you that growth to go buy the next investment. So you're right. Like I think that uneducated of like, oh, if you're asking Reddit, then yeah, you shouldn't trust it. It's like, what do you mean? It's opinion based.
Well, it's like asking your cousin or your uncle at a barbecue who have never purchased a property.
That's so true.
Like everyone's an expert, yeah?
Oh, everyone loves to be an expert, especially the uncle at the barbecue.
Aussie barbecues are the best ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get shitloads of tips and you walk away knowing nothing.
You're about 10 cans deep as well, so, like...
and then you're like, sure, makes sense. The fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
No, but I like this next one, right? So this is this is here a typical bold statement for you, right? So buyer's agents are only for rich people who can't be bothered doing the work. Is that myth or reality in your opinion? And then what's the real value that people overlook?
Yeah, like with the high net individuals, obviously they've got less time. They're busy professionals most of the time. So for them, it's more a time thing. Just get it done for me. So we've really got to adapt to different personality types as well.
True.
Some people don't have the money to invest in a buyer's advocate, but for me, I've purchased anywhere from 167,000 to multi-million,
Yeah.
It is a myth that it's just for the wealthy. Not the case whatsoever. You know, we're constantly getting people looking at 500, 600, 700,000, So it's just subjective to what.
I love the way you said it though. It's like, it's true. It's one of those things that I always hear, it's always for the rich. It's like, okay, maybe they're the most time poor. Usually they're CEOs or they're big, head honchos or executives, right? But I always go back to like just everyday people. You're working full time and you got even 1 or 2 children, or you've even got pets, or you've got a partner, or you're single and you're just a really dedicated professional at your, working at your career, or an entrepreneur. How much time do you realistically have? Because I know that I'm flat out 99% of the time, but I'm not a high net worth individual. Like I'm just someone who's pretty average, started a business, and it's like, I don't have friggin' time, to be honest.
Well, most of the people have a job 9 to 5,
Correct.
When do you have time to look for a property at 7 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
When the agents are
asleep,
essentially.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely not for just the rich.
Yeah.
It is becoming more prominent with, obviously, if you're mum and dads, you're singles, your first home buyers, we really do help them all. And I have helped different people from different backgrounds and different occupations. It's really just adapting to that person and their personality type.
Yeah, that's right. And I think from everything that you've described so far, like there's a cost saving to it. Talk to me a little bit about that, like the cost saving, right? Because I think there's also this other myth out there that buyer's agents all say they'll save you $100,000, and there's no validation for that for a lot of listeners, right? Where we had someone email us the other day, like this just off the fly, I just remembered, I should have put it in the show, but I'm going to try my best to ad-lib it. So they emailed and they said, I was talking to another buyer's advocate who promised to save $100,000 on my spend. And I'm like, promised? And I'm like, okay, bold. And they said, but how do they quantify saving $100,000 on a purchase? It doesn't make sense to me. Can you, I came across your app. How do you guys help people save money? And I'm like, okay, good question. now I'm thinking I'm going to put it to Rob.
Yeah, let's just handle it.
Yeah, it's like, here we go. Rob can do it and I'll just play this episode snippet in my
Yeah, so look, do you guys know how to value property? Do you know what a property is worth? That in itself could save you $100,000, but I never guarantee anything,
Yeah.
I know I'll do a good job, but you can't guarantee something because no one has a crystal ball, essentially, at the end of the day. So if someone's guaranteeing you something, you got to think, well, what's their ulterior motive?
How are they doing that?
Yeah. How are you promising that when you don't even know what the type is of the property, that you have no idea?
Because my immediate thought is like, that's a winning the business kind of attitude, right? It's I'll save you $100,000, I promise, or I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so are you overvaluing properties? So then when you buy them, you can say it's $100,000. So you're like, oh, I found this property, it's worth $700,000, when in reality it's maybe worth $580,000, $600,000. And
look, I know for me, I try to purchase like I'm purchasing for myself.
Yeah.
So I really scrape for every $100,
Yeah.
If I could save you $100, great. I don't just fold, and that's what makes me a good negotiator, Like
that's right.
If you're coming to me and want me to discount my fee, do you want me to discount the price when I go to negotiate as well?
Love it.
So you're paying me to represent you in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And save you the most amount of money.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how I'm going to do it for you.
And it's like, you're not making a guarantee. It's like, no, look, I can, right?
Yeah.
I can do it. I'm aiming to do it.
Yeah, here's the proof.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to guarantee you anything.
That's right, because you don't know what property does. You don't know what the market changes to, or like how that auction's going to go ultimately. You can predict. And I think a lot of the time, though, when you've been in this business a long time, you kind of, and work in a specific area, might I say, like you can't predict every freaking market, but, you're specialising out in like the western suburbs mainly.
Well, if I was to say I'm an inner northwest specialist. I've grown up there, know the agents, know the areas, can get obviously access to listings like everyone else says, but I can actually do it. I'm there speaking to the agents on the ground every day. And obviously you're calling them throughout the day as well. So you build rapport, and you need to be able to build rapport, especially if you're not market that you're not familiar with. You need to build rapport with those agents very, very quickly, so they'll give you access to those listings.
True.
So if you're more of an introvert, it might take you that 6 to 9 months to purchase, essentially.
Yeah, and the other thing too, it brings me to this other one that a lot of people like I talk to about, but it'd be good to bring up now, is the buyers advocates who don't really have a specialty, right? So I always find that dangerous, where they go, I can buy anywhere. And I'm like, what do you mean you can buy anywhere? Like, yes, do you have a license for it? Because these are people that I've interviewed for podcast, right? And like pre-podcast, and then I've decided not to go with. And they're like, oh, I service everywhere. And I'm like, oh, you licensed? Far out. Do you spend all the money on the license across Australia? I'm like, shit, I didn't do that. Maybe I'm shit. And they go, oh, yeah. And I've gone, oh, that seems weird. And I'm like, so you're licensed in New South Wales, Tassie, ACT, Queensland, Cairns, NT, like you've got your licenses. Yep. And I'm like, why is that? Where are you buying then? Like, where's your specialty? No, I cover anywhere. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, bullshit. Sorry. I'm in Melbourne. I'm in the southeast, right? I specialise, when I was a buyer's advocate, Cranbourne, Berwick, that whole corridor up to Pakenham, all the way up to Noble Park. That was me, right? Cover all that area, southeastern suburbs. And I didn't even cross over into Peninsula. I knew enough about it. I was a real estate agent there. Didn't want to cover it. Shit house. So when I hear someone that says we do everywhere and we do anything, that always worries me, because I'm like, well, even you said if I had to specify something, I'm a north specialist.
Yeah.
And you said it so specifically. How important is that when you're interviewing for buyer's agents?
It's very important, because if you're looking to buy in that area, essentially they're going to either already purchase what you're trying to look for, or they'll already have rapport with all the agents in the area. So they're the ones with your listing. So that's how we're going to be able to get you access to stuff that you won't see on realestate or domain.com.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, essentially they do come to us prior to the general public. They know we've got the buyers. They know we like to get deals done. They know that we've pre-qualified those buyers as well. So it's going to be a much smoother transaction for the real estate agent if they're dealing with a buyer's agent compared to someone from the general public.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like I think people always think that buyer's agents and real estate agents are against each other, and it's just so not true. We often have the best relationships with agents because we work with them all the time and they give us access.
Yeah, essentially. And for me, I work both sides of the transaction.
Yeah, true.
So I see both sides of the transaction. I see what the agents do, and then I'm trying to buy as well. You know, they can't pull any tricks over my eyes because I see both sides.
And they know you too, so they're like, oh,
Yeah.
shit, here's Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're like, oh, all right, let's just give it to him.
Yeah, it's like, let's just deal with this quickly.
Yeah.
It's like I can't do any of my usual spiel to try and get you.
But if you're like a Sydney investor or a WA investor, which I'm getting weekly now, you're not going to have that same rapport.
No, and it makes it hard. Like even you as a consumer, right? Like I think a lot of buyers have bad experiences with the agents and opens because maybe it's the way they're presenting or maybe it's the way they've been told it by the uncle at the barbecue to don't talk, don't say anything, just stonewall the agent when you walk in. It's like, oh, geez, that's the worst approach ever.
Well, is that going to make him work with you or is it going to detract?
It's going to detract 100% every time, right? Because people want to be friendly with people. No, you don't have to give away the farm and tell them your life story and say you've only got $1 in the bank and you never intend to purchase. It's just being honest and open. And this is why working with, an advocate, especially like what Rob's saying that specializes in that area. Like for me, when I used to we refer, that's the other thing that I don't think a lot of people know is like buyers advocates refer to each other a lot of the time.
Absolutely. Like if I don't know an area and, like someone is wanting to buy an owner occupier in Sydney, well, I can't service that, So we've got connections in the industry throughout the country.
That's right.
So I'll regularly refer to good buyers agents that I know,
Correct.
And go, look, have a chat to him and or her and go, yeah, look, I know them well and they'll do a good job for you.
And that's the difference. Like in my opinion, like I think that's the little bit of difference we have in real estate because my time as an agent, if I got a listing from like a family friend who was out of my farming area. So if you don't know, real estate agents have like locations that they can list properties in, especially if they work for one of the big corporates like a Ray White. So Ray White kind of divides all the suburbs. And then within that office, they'll divide even the suburb by quarters and farming areas that certain agents in the office look after as their patch, right? And you can't cross-contaminate that patch with another agent who looks after it. So if I got like a personal listing from a family friend who was on the other side of the city, normally the right thing to do by that client should be to just go, look, put this with Ray White over and, blah, blah, and you'll be right.
Well, we've got to think from a time perspective as well. If I'm listing something in the southeast, it's going to take me an hour and a half to get there and an hour and a half back.
Correct.
I've got to service all my other clients as well,
That's right.
So I've got to think about it from a time perspective. That's why, it might be more beneficial to just pass that client along to the appropriate buyer's agent.
Correct. And it makes more sense because it's like I haven't got time to go do that on my list.
I haven't got the rapport with those agents as well. I'll have to start from scratch.
So it's like it's always better to find that person that says, I specialize in this part, the west, the north, the east, southeast. It's like, okay, cool. So how does that benefit you as a consumer? It's like, well, I have rapport. I know these agents. I can get access to off markets. I can negotiate prices easier because I already know them. They already know me. We've got a good relationship. I know the area. I know, and when you're asking me what stock's available, I've been working in this market for bloody 2 years, 5 years, 6 years. I've seen all the ups and downs. I'm going to tell you where it's not going well and where it is well.
Yeah. And the good pockets from the bad pockets as well.
Sometimes it's down to street, right? Like it's like
we look down to street level, absolutely.
Micro suburbs.
Yeah.
This is part of the data analysis. Like I feel like people don't get how much data analysis there is.
Some people don't even know. To do social housing checks, like
that's a big one that people just
overlook it.
Yep.
And you could be buying in the worst street. That's why it's the cheapest.
Correct. And it's like, oh, wow, this house was really well priced. It's like, it's not well priced. It's because it's in social housing. The score was like friggin' 8, something really high.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
If you don't know, you don't know,
That's all right. I do know because I don't know.
I know.
I know that you know that I know.
Yeah.
And I want to go into this emotional trap, right? Because here's the raw truth. Like, I'll give you an example for myself. I actually don't buy my own houses after my first one. I get a buyer's agent to do it for me, right? Because one, I'm time poor. right? Trying to run the business. 2, I'm still emotional, right? I can do non-emotion for anyone else. The minute it's my house, even though I know how to buy a house and I know what to do and I'm an advocate myself, I still find myself going, oh God, this is hard.
That's so interesting you say that, because I'm potentially looking for a property myself, and I'm like, I don't typically, like, I'm potentially looking at buying a block of villas or a dual occupancy or something. I sometimes deal with them, but not a lot. I'm like, well, maybe I can get like a buyer's agent that I know that does this day in and day out, and he might have access to more deals than what I could possibly get, you know?
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like I don't buy my own because, one, if it's going to be for my own investment, like own a rock, my next house, hell no, I'm not doing it myself because, one, I know time is my ultimate thing that I need in my pocket. But 2, I don't think I could be non-emotional about my own purchase. I think I am going to do the whole, oh, it has a purple door. And even though I know that's dumb, it's like I can't fathom. And then even for investing, 100%, if I want to know where the best market is, but I'm only playing in this particular pocket in Melbourne, but I'm thinking I want to buy in Queensland, right? Or I want to buy in Perth, I'm going to go to a buyer's advocate for that who specialises because why? It's like I'm preaching what I'm selling. It's like I'm in the same boat as every other people, but just because I'm in the industry and I know how to do it doesn't mean I want to. It doesn't mean I should.
Yeah, you're not going to have the intimate knowledge about the suburb or location that you're potentially investing in.
That's right.
All
the relationships.
Huge, all the relationships is another huge one, yeah.
So
make all valid points.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, right? Because emotion clicks in, you're emotionally invested in the house you'll live in long term. So I guess, from your perspective, Rob, walk us through that emotional side where it derails people. And how do you step in to kind of go, guys, I think we're getting too invested in that purple door. Don't worry about it.
Look, I recently had this with a client. We're looking to purchase in the north. The suburb was Faulkner.
Oh, yeah.
So essentially, they kept, before coming to me, they kept missing out. We had actually missed out on a couple as well. So they were getting they were getting over the process a little bit of, I'm missing out. So sometimes, like, I feel like should have like a psychology degree at the end of the day, because I feel like I'm a therapist sometimes, and sometimes the one partner's on one page and the other partner's on another, and trying to put them on the same page sometimes can be difficult. But yeah, I recently had a client, as I mentioned before, they'll look into purchase. The value probably sat at around the 900K mark. They'll wanting to put in an offer at 960,
Far out.
And I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, ethically, I could easily go, let's go pay 960 for this and my job is done. But, ethically and morally, like, I didn't feel that was right. And we ended up, skipping on that property. Yeah. And we ended up purchasing a week later for something that was on a bigger block and was pretty much on market value,
Yeah.
Whereas they could have easily been 50K in the red before even starting, or 60K, whatever.
That's huge that you're able to kind of pull them back from that, because I think a lot of indecision from buyers comes from fear, where they're like, just buy it. We don't know if it's going to come up again.
It's
just
a fear of missing out.
Yeah.
It is a thing. And obviously the emotional tax of missing out all the time and just wanting it to get it done.
Yeah.
It's just sort of go, look, maybe let's just realign a little bit and go, it's picking the right property in the right time, in the right location. It's not, let's just rush into this and, then you're stuck with a lemon at the end of the day, and you're trying to offload that in a year's time and you're losing money.
Oh, there's so many stories that I've found on Reddit. I was searching the other day on the Oz Property Chat, and just some of the ones I come across, this lady had really massive buyer's remorse. Like, she just didn't like the asset she purchased and the location. She missed where she used to live, but she couldn't afford to buy there. And I'm like, far out. And she was just like, how do I get rid of this apartment? I'm like, oh God, an apartment. And I'm like, oh no, like, that's almost a loss straight away, especially quickly. And, I was like, this is where people don't realize that, yes, buying a house is one part, but strategy forms just a big part, it forms a big part with your buyer's advocate as well, because it's not just buying assets and turning them over and helping you spend the right money.
Yeah, you've got to really be strategic with the assets you're buying.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I'm like, that lady probably would have suited rent vesting as a strategy.
Yeah.
She wanted to rent where her gym was and all of the things that she's done for the last 6 years renting.
Yeah, essentially we're trying to push you forward, not hold you back.
Correct. Yeah, you shouldn't feel like you've bought something and it's the wrong asset, the wrong location. Like really made me feel sad for her because I'm like, yeah, shit, like you got to realign. You got to
There's a
think of
lot of those
something.
buyers out there just going out, buying something, seeing something for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
not even inspecting it like at a daytime, nighttime, like driving around the streets. They just see it for 5 minutes. All right, put their hand up. Yes, I won the auction. Well, that's happened multiple times.
Tell me your, like, because there's a study that they did, and I always love bringing it up because I find it so interesting. Buyers spend more time, or people in general spend more time trying to pick a Netflix show to watch. It's 45 to 50-minute average versus buying their home, which takes about 15 to 20 minutes, right, of an inspection. And then they bet the life savings on it and go, cool, that's what I'm buying. And I'm like, far out, that's true, because I'll mull on a T-shirt longer than, I've seen most buyers pick property.
There's another analogy, like spend more time on purchasing a car than obviously buying a property.
Yeah.
They spend weeks on weeks. So it's crazy to me that you only spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes in a property and then you go and buy it, it's just, I see it so many times.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like, and walk me through your inspection process. Like how many on average, like let's say you found a couple of properties and the buyers have the briefs in front of them. They're like, cool, yeah, Rob, happy with this one. Can we inspect it?
Yeah.
And then you're going and doing your 8 and 15-minute
Well,
videos.
I'm doing it prior to them going out there because there's no point them going out there if they don't even like the property. They're just wasting their time at the end of the day, and I'm trying to save them time.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll go out, check the property first. If it's all good, then we'll go out and inspect it ourselves,
Yeah.
That's if the clients are here in Melbourne with me. If they're not, obviously we're taking that video for them. But yeah, ideally I'll recommend them seeing it at day, seeing it at night. Like, is it in a school zone? Are you across from a school? Like, are you going there in peak hour? Can you get out of your driveway? So it just depends on the asset as well. At the end of the day, what location is the asset in?
But you're spending so much time even assessing those things, like even down to neighbours, like street value.
Do the neighbours have their cars parked on the lawn or in the front yard? Like, is that maybe the best picture for where you want to live? There's all things that we need to see. Like, firstly, before doing anything, we'll look on Google Maps, which people don't really do.
That's true.
So it might be across from an industrial area, or it might be in a compromised location on a roundabout, or on a main road.
That's a huge thing.
And they go to the property and it's on a main road.
Yes.
Cool. Why waste your time going out there if you haven't even done the initial due diligence?
It's so true. Like, and I think that's the value, right? That you don't get time to do that when you go to a half an hour inspection on a weekend, right? It's like you got half an hour. You're looking at the property and you're more nervous about seeing the other buyers that are there. I think a lot of people don't even know that they can book a private inspection.
Absolutely.
And it's like that's your advantage to just get.
Well, that's the added advantage of me going back to before. If it probably comes on the market at 9 o'clock, I'll call the agent. Can I get through this straight away?
That's right.
And I've potentially already inspected it, done all the due diligence on it, to potentially put an offer in prior to 5 o'clock. So that's the added advantage you do get with working with a good buyer's agent. Yeah.
100%. And I want to play a little game, small game, really quick, right?
Love games.
I love games. All right. This one's called Myth or Marketing. Okay. So I got a couple of little sentences for you, and I want you to tell me if that buyer's agent is telling a myth, like it's a bit of bullshit, or if it's marketing.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. The first one is, we guarantee you'll save 100K off market.
Yeah, that's a myth. Definitely a myth.
Nice. And what's your explanation for that? Why do you say that?
So they're going to purchase 100K off market.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a myth. Like, all off markets are not great deals. Like, there might be 1 or 2 that's out of the 10 that we get is a great deal,
Yeah.
So it's, promising that is just crazy to me.
Yeah, it's like setting it up for a loss.
It's setting the unrealistic expectations with your clients, which I mentioned, you got to set at the start.
That's
and go,
true.
This is what I expect from you, and this is what I'm going to deliver.
Yeah, makes sense. This next one, access secret off-market listings no one else sees.
I'd say that's marketing.
Marketing?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you reckon, give me your explanation for that.
Yeah, so as mentioned before, we do get access to listings prior to the general public. It might be to us just ourselves or a handful of buyers agents, So that is definitely true. We do see properties before they hit the market, before it hits real estate or domain.com.
And that's because of your relationships with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the agents make sense. And this one here, pay us only when we find a property, zero upfront cost.
That's a myth. If someone is, someone's promising you that, then I don't know what service they're providing. Definitely there is a retainer or engagement fee that you will need to pay to engage a buyer's agent. And then typically the balance is due on unconditional exchange of contracts.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's where a lot of people mostly operate in.
Yes, it's not all upfront. It's two stages.
Some buyers agents do all upfront.
Yeah.
But definitely no fee at all, and then finding the properties. Yeah, that's not a buyer's agent.
No, that's a very loose commitment in my opinion, because then how do you know how hard they're working? It's like when you I feel like.
Well, are they prioritizing your brief as well?
That's right, because it's like if it's pay at the end, that's very convenient, sure, but it's like, well, okay, what's the incentive for you?
Why would I take you on when I've got clients paying me full fee?
Correct.
I'm going to prioritize those clients over you.
That's right, and then you get lost in the weeds because I don't really need to look for you right now.
Yeah.
It's like I can look for 12 months and leave you there because you're not paying me.
Yeah,
and I've
correct.
got 6 people that are paying me full time.
Not a good strategy if you're a buyer.
Yeah, definitely not. Thank you for playing that. I wanted to ask you those quick ones, just a bit of fun. Now, I want to talk about how to spot a good advocate. So how do you actually pick the right buyer's advocate? Because obviously, not all are equal. And Rob, in your experience, what should a buyer look for on day one?
On day one?
Yeah.
So when you're initially having your first meeting, I would definitely look at, obviously, the way they're speaking to you. Are they confident in what they're saying? Have they done what you're trying to do, essentially? Are they in the right market that you're trying to purchase in as well?
Oh, yeah, true. That's true.
If they're not in the right market, how are they going to do the right by you, essentially? Picking a good one from a bad one, you need to firstly see if they've got experience in the field. Are they just new to the industry? How long have they been working? Do they have case studies? Do they have Google reviews?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that they've done what you're trying to do, essentially, at the end of the day.
Oh, like they've actually made their own purchase before.
Well, yeah, if a buyer's agent's got 0 purchases
it's bad.
for themselves, is that someone that you want on your team? I don't know. Maybe it is.
No, maybe not. Not in my opinion.
Not in my mind. Really just seeing, is that buyer's agent going to be doing everything from start to finish for you?
Yeah.
Or are they going to be passing everything to their associates or virtual assistant or whoever it is, in their team?
Interesting.
So that's a very crucial question to ask. Essentially,
I think
I'm probably missing a couple of things, but if I think about it, I'll definitely
flag them again.
Yeah.
But I think though that's the most important one. It's the questions you ask in that first meeting. It's like be candid, be open, and just ask what you need to ask. Experience is one part. I think earlier you even touched on a few more, like saying outside of experience, it's like, where do they service and where do they specialize?
Well, I always leave time for questions that when I'm obviously they're interviewing me or whatever for the role. I'll always leave time for questions, but at the end of the session, because I'll potentially already cover what you're going to ask.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they go, oh, I actually don't have any questions anymore.
And that's when you know you've done well. You've covered everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's maybe that's your first test, is meet with a buyer's agent and see what they're running you through. Sit down with Rob, and then if you do have questions at the end, it's like,
you need to understand if they're transactional as well. Is it going to be a one-on-one service, or are they buying for another 20, 30 people in the same month as well? You're not going to really have that level of attention that you deserve.
No, that's true. And this is also that difference of buying with a big, these bigger buyers agencies that have been around for a few years that tend to have a very one-track mind approach, and they kind of fit you into their box. Like, this is our formula for buying a house. Bang, you're in the system, and it's like, I've spoken to a lot of buyers that have tried those systems with various different ones, and they don't have a very good experience for a number of reasons. Some do, but
like we regularly get clients coming to us because they've gone and engaged one of those big buyers advocacies, but they haven't even presented a property for them for 3 months. They're just in a line.
Yeah, it's like a conveyor belt at a factory.
Yeah, essentially. So we have that, pretty regularly. They're converting back over to someone that's just deals with them one-on-one and give them that personalized approach.
And that's what I mean. And then they're the ones that are doing that associate stuff. It's like they're working with like some associate.
Well, they're speaking to 5 or 6 different people throughout the process.
Correct. And it's bad. It's so bad.
And so are those people communicating? And once they're getting passed down the line, it can work, but you won't have the same personal touch as working with someone that's independent and boutique, absolutely.
Well, that's why I liked when you ran me through what you do, and like when we first met a while ago, what really struck me was how personalized your process and your journey is, but also just the fact of like how you kind of indicate how your service works. I'm like, so that's transparent. That's just what you need to know, like straight from the horse's mouth. Like in that first episode, we go into it a lot, in terms of how you operate. And I loved it because I was like, yep, I aligned with this so much. This is how I used to operate. So it makes a big difference. I find the bigger agencies, they're good, don't get me wrong, but it's very much their process or nothing. So if you're happy with their process and you like it, okay, fine.
Yeah, it's where I like to give the client a say as well.
That's right.
They're purchasing their asset for their portfolio, So you would want to say, some high net individuals, they don't want to say, they just want to go, just find me the property and
it's like you tell me kind of thing.
It goes back to, adaptability and personalities and sort of adapting for that client and what they need at that point in time in their portfolio.
Yeah, I like that approach. So that makes sense. And one thing I want to ask, right, this is a little quick segment before we finish off because, Rob, I could talk to you for ages. So I need to wrap up. But I want to go through a quick one for a quick checklist, if you will, for our listeners with a lightning round of red flag or walk away. So I want to know whether this is a red flag and if you think it's something that is bad or if you think that it's a green flag. So kind of.
So red flag or green flag?
Yeah, that's the one I should have called it. All right. If this is a red flag or green flag, the buyer's agent says they'll find a home in 2 weeks.
I'd say it's, can I go in the middle?
Amber flag?
Because that property could come up within the first day, you just don't know. So, I've purchased in 2 weeks, absolutely.
Yeah.
It just depends what comes across our desk at what point in time.
So it's like it's possible to find something in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So I would call that a bit of an amber flag.
Yeah, right? I would say yellow flag.
Yellow flag. There we go. Next one, refuses to share recent client testimonials.
Red flag.
Oh, that's a bad one. And pushes you to act immediately without showing alternatives.
Yes, we'll push them to go immediately for the right deal, but we'll always give them alternatives,
like options on market.
So it's a bit of a 50-50. I'll go yellow flag for that as well.
All right. And last one, updates you even when there's no news.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a green flag. Communication is number one, and the client needs to know what part of the process they're at any given time.
No, perfect. Rob, thank you so much for coming on the show. I've had so much fun. I'm so looking forward to our next one with the auction. You have no idea. I've already planned it out. So I know exactly the same. But I want to leave our listeners with one thing, that they can do. So what's your kind of advice or your takeaway that you think that people need to take from this episode today, that if they could listen to any part of this episode, what's one piece of advice that you want to leave them with?
Yeah, getting their ducks in a row, essentially, so that they're in a position to move when the right deal comes along.
Yeah.
So make sure, everything is in line
Mm-hmm.
So when that deal comes along, you're ready to move and you're already a couple steps ahead of all the other buyers.
I love it. Thank you so much, Rob. This has been so much fun today. Thanks for coming on again.
Thanks for having me on. And I'll gladly come on anytime.
Awesome. Because the auction's going to be good.
Yeah.
So listeners, if you're out there browsing for 6 months, losing pre-approvals or stressing over auctions, maybe it's time to ask, am I doing this by myself because I have to or because I think I'm supposed to? Okay, so Rob's details are in the show notes. Check out his first episode, but also check out this one. And if you liked his story and you liked how he shared his tips, a conversation costs nothing, as I always say. Just give him a buzz, have that conversation. It might change your whole mindset or it might not. Or maybe your starting step is just to use him for the auction or negotiation process first and then see how you go from there. But it's not going to cost you anything, just have the first conversation. So start somewhere. And, work with someone who actually gives a shit and is not afraid to tell you what you need to hear. So thanks for tuning into the No BS Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Agresta, and we'll catch you next time. That's a wrap for this episode of the No BS Real Estate Podcast, powered by Abodey AI. If you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who might need it. If you're looking for more guidance on your home buying journey, you can visit www.abodey.com.au for expert advice, property insights, and the tools you need to find the right home with confidence. If you're already on your journey, you can also download our app. Just search Abodey AI on the App Store or Google Play. Have any questions or want to connect, you can follow us on Instagram at abodey.com.au or send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.